Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 14 of the Associated Wrestling Press's Second Caution. I'll be your host, ESPN and Big Ten Network wrestling analyst Eric Olenowski. And today's guest might have had one of the toughest national tournaments in the country. And if you saw him, you know that he was in for the long haul. He was in for a war. Two-time NCAA All-American from Lehigh, Mason Beckman. Mason, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Eric. Good to be part of it.
Yeah, as I mentioned, you might have had one of the craziest NCAA tournaments. But let's start. As a freshman, you make the NCAA tournament, and then you end up not All-Americaning. Your second year, you redshirt, and then your third year, you come back and you place sixth. That was last year. Mm-hmm. What did you learn from those two experiences at the NCAA championships that you brought into this year's NCAA championship?
I think the biggest thing is that it's just another tournament. Obviously, it's physically bigger. There are a lot more people in the stands. There's more mats and everything else. But you just got to go one match at a time. I know it's a horrible cliche. You probably hear it all the time, but it's just it's such a cool environment that so few people have an opportunity to be part of, and you just have to go out there, embrace it, let it fly, and have fun. Too many guys get there and lock up, and you spend the rest of your life looking back on it the way I look back on my true freshman year at nationals, and it's frustrating. You never get it back because you didn't open up and didn't do the things that you could do.
Great point. I wrestled in 2009 when it was in St. Louis, and I was up, I think, by 8 points and ended up getting put to my back for 5 twice, and I still regret it. And to this day, my parents still think I threw the match. So for everybody out there, I didn't throw the match, if you're wondering as well. So how did you feel at the NCAA tournament?
I was extremely excited going in. I felt great, was really, firing. Even in spite of the loss in the IWA finals, I still felt like I was wrestling better than ever, and was excited. Really felt like I had a chance to win. Got myself a little too excited too soon coming out of the gate and was just flat. Rouser put together a great match. He did the things that he needed to do, and all the credit goes to him and that staff. They did their job, and they walked away with a win. And it was frustrating, obviously. We went there to win. I went there to win a national title. That's all I've been thinking about all year. So you go back to the hotel, you got all day to refocus, and from there, go one match at a time because now your back's against the wall, and you can either come out swinging or go away quietly. And from talking to my family, our coaching staff, my teammates, just everyone around me, the sports system wouldn't let me go away. And I decided to come back and just kept fighting, the way the Lehigh program has taught me, the way the Reynolds program before it has taught me.
And those breaks that you have is at the NCAA tournament, for those of you who aren't familiar, they're long breaks. They do a great job in between sessions with fanfares and just interactive meeting different wrestlers and stuff like that. But so would you say that break helped you out kind of to clear your head a little bit away from you losing that first round match?
Oh, absolutely. Had I had to come back and wrestle again Thursday morning, it would have been so much harder. Not being able to leave the arena or anything like that, keeping my shoes on the whole time, it would have been really difficult for sure. It's so much harder to clear your head, As it is, I went back to the hotel. You take a nap, you wake up, and you just collect yourself. It's almost like a new day, it really is. And you've been part of it. When you come back to the arena that night, it's a completely different thing, and that's how I treated it. Had to put that morning behind me, And the thing that I told my coaches was, we just got to forget about it. And they told me the same thing. We just got to forget about it. We'll deal with that when the weekend's over. We'll see why we got beat. But for now, forget about it because we got to move forward or we're dead.
Wow, I've never actually thought of it that way. I always look at the break being, a down point because you guys get so much time off. But wow, that's a great way to look at it. So after you lose that first round match, this is who you had to wrestle to reach not only the All-American round, but after you continued to win and reach that All-American. But you wrestled Del Vecchio from Rutgers. You wrestled Caleb Richardson, who knocked off A.J. Shop the first round. McGuire of Kent State, who was ranked top 15 consistently all season. Earl Hall, returning All-American, 125 last year, bumps up, consistently ranked top 10 in the country. Ryan Taylor, Wisconsin's freshman phenom, Big Ten runner-up, Dardanes, who beat Ryan Taylor in the Big Ten championships, who was the number 1 seed, and then Jimmy Gulibon. Are you kidding me? Did you, at any point, did you look at the bracket and say, I know that later on down it wasn't really filled out, but as you kept winning, did you keep saying, like, this is going to be a run that is going to be able to stick up there with the best of them?
Again, just going one match at a time, trying to put one foot in front of the other and keep myself alive. Thursday night, I got taken down in the first 20, 30 seconds of that match. I was losing 2-0 right away. So at that point, I was just fighting for my life. And from there, we were just trying to score the next point and, kind of got on a roll. Friday morning against Richardson, I won an overtime match. He's a guy that I beat, I think, 3-2 in the duel. We've had close matches before. I knew it was going to be a fight. Mackenzie, we grew up wrestling together. We grew up in the same club, so that was, a little bit bittersweet. But
wow, so there's history behind that one. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he and I have been friends since we were kids, 8, 9, 10 years old, wrestling down at the Quest School of Wrestling, Jim Akerley's club down there in Cannonsburg, by Pittsburgh. So, and then all of a sudden, like you said, you show up Friday night and you're in the round of 12, got to wrestle Earl Hall, the guy I wrestled in the Dapper Dan in high school. He won my weight at the scuffle, like you said, a returning All-American, the 6th seed, just having a great year. The dude's he's an awesome wrestler. That's why he's there. And go out, find a way to win, put some points on the board. Then, like you said, you come into Taylor, he's the 2 seed, having a great season. Got wins over, everybody in their brother. Go out, get taken down right away. I seem to have a thing for that weekend. But just keep scoring the next point. Got on a roll against him. I got that win. Show up Saturday. Saturday wasn't as kind to me.
That was a tough Saturday, though.
Yeah, with the weight as deep as 133 was this year, no matter who you got on Saturday, if they found their way into the top 8, it was going to be somebody who was extremely good. And like you said, Dardanes at that point only had 1 loss. He was the 1 seed for a reason. He ran the table all year for a reason. And I knew it was going to be a fist fight, just the way he wrestles, the way he is. And it was a fun match to wrestle. Sucks to come out on the losing end of it, but that was a fun one to wrestle. My body definitely would have liked to have wrestled somebody a little less brutal at that point. But, and then against Jimmy, somebody I've been wrestling, it's probably our 8th match that we wrestled just in college. And they're always fun. There are always a lot of points that go up. We've had a 7-6 before. We've had, I think that one was 5, one big scramble. Goes his way, and, he did what he needed to do, came away with the win. But it was definitely a fun run. It's not something I would ever want to do again. I wouldn't recommend losing first round to anybody. As far as where it ranks against anybody else's, it's hard to say because AJ Shop was on the mat next to me the whole time, pinning everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So, no matter what I did, I looked over, I was like, okay, AJ's always outdoing. He was outdoing me. But, it was a lot of fun. And it was actually pretty cool to look over. AJ, somebody I've known since we were kids. It was cool to see him, both of us come the whole way back through like that.
So we were talking about the Saturday being so brutal. The one thing that a lot of college wrestlers aren't used to is that 3rd day weigh-in. You never. The NCAA tournament is the only day that's 3 days. How did you adapt to that? Was your weight an issue?
Oh, no, not at all. I'm usually pretty weight. I'm a little too OCD to let it get out of control. I don't know that all year, especially by the end of the year, I ever had to at the end of a day of wrestling to be able to make weight for the next day. I woke up, I think I weighed in the first day of nationals this year at like 31 and a half. Just that was what I woke up at and weighed after I ate breakfast. And same kind of thing, Saturday morning, woke up, stepped on the scale, and I remember Saturday morning I could have made scratch again, just how I woke up.
Wow.
Keeping fluids in my body, just eating and feeling good, because it definitely wasn't something that I was worried about, especially Friday. I knew the position I put myself in, I was going to have to wrestle 4 times, and you can't worry about weight. You just got to put fluids in you eat, you feel good, and just go let it fly. I mean, trust me, no matter what coaching staff or what, if you get yourself through to be an All American, they'll stay up all night making sure you make weight if they have to.
Right. Um, I wonder if there's anybody who's missed. There has to be someone who missed weight that day to All American. But so 2-time All American. Not a lot you can improve on. I mean, I'm sure anybody would kill to be in the situation that you've put yourself in. But I'm guessing you're looking to be on that stage Saturday night in front of 18,000, 19,000 plus fans, cameras on you, live on ESPN. What do you have to do this offseason to take that next step, to get yourself from Saturday morning to Saturday night?
A lot of different things, a lot of little things. At the highest level, it's a game of inches, if that. The smallest adjustments make the biggest differences. But just continuing to find different ways to attack, different ways to get in to the positions that I wrestle well in, the places I like to be. You know, maybe finding a new setup for my single leg or my high crotch, a new way to turn people on top. Being a little bit stingier and more consistent with not giving guys escapes. But again, it's a lot of little things. Shot recovery is something we're working on right now. Just continuing to improve. They've always got something. Trust me, Coach Santoro, Hughes, Dylan, Garnett, they're always on us. They're always making sure our heads don't get too big. And probably 2 days after the national tournament, I was back up in our new facility talking to the staff and figuring out, okay, where do we go from here? Because being an All-American is a lot of fun, but it's not what you do it for. You do it to wrestle on that stage Saturday night. That's what you dream about as a kid. And again, it's fun to be part of it all, but when you're still sitting in the stands, it's hard Saturday night.
Well, we're running out of time here. One thing that you touched on earlier on in the interview was the support system that you have around Lehigh. You guys have tremendous coaches. You have your team is tremendous. You have the facilities now. Can you just speak a little bit on that before we get you out of here on what it's like to be a student athlete at Lehigh? Because you guys have the academic accolades, you have the athletic accolades, and now you have the facilities and everything to back it up. How does that support affect you with being a student athlete at Lehigh?
It's an enormous part of the reason I came here. It really is a family in every sense of the word, whether it be in the wrestling room, we're always picking each other up, pushing each other, trying to make one another better. The coaching staff wants us to be not only the best wrestlers possible, but the best people and the best students. The alumni support, they're always around. They're always trying to make sure that they enable us to operate on the forefront of everything that we do, both in wrestling and in life. And you touched on the facility. For anybody that's seen it, this place is incredible. There's not a nice facility in America. There might be ones that are just as nice or close, but there's nothing more you could ask for. We have a regional training center with Coach Buxton and with a good number of resident athletes. We are hoping to get a few more guys in. Workout partners are awesome. There's so many things I could touch on, but I couldn't ask for anything more, and I could not possibly be happier to be part of this program.
My next question was going to be, if you could recruit the number one kid in the country to get him to Lehigh, what would you say to him? But just show him the interview. Just show him this. What you just said is absolutely amazing. If I was the number one kid, I would say, locked up. Give me the papers. We'll sign it. But I won't keep you any longer. I really want to thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Congratulations on another very exciting and tremendous year. Just me watching from being in front of the mic and watching what you had the opportunity to do, it was impressive. So congratulations on that. Is there anything that you want to say before we let you get out of here? Do you have any social media plugs where your fans can follow you?
First and foremost, again, thank you for all the kind words and for allowing me to be part of this. I really appreciate it, and all that you and everybody around you does for the sport of wrestling. It's awesome. We need more people like you. As far as social media goes, I have a Twitter, I have Facebook. My Twitter handle is BeckDiggity, Beck_Diggity. Go follow Lehigh Wrestling, both on Twitter and on Facebook. The LVAC Wrestling just got themselves a Twitter. It's just at LVACW. So go give them a follow, keep up with our regional training center, and just everything that we're up to.
Alrighty, sounds good. So for Mason Beckman and Eric Olenowski, that's been it for episode 14 of the Associated Wrestling Press's Second Caution. Thank you.